Hey everybody, just want you to see the sun. It's interesting how poorly the camera captures sky phenomenon. Yeah? And I want you to understand something that's fundamentally important, which is that the camera, it does not see. It is a machine. And when you see, you have feeling, yeah? You have emotion. You have transformation of the basis of yourself. Here is the moon. Now, when I look at that moon, from the same position this camera is looking, it is so much bigger than what the camera sees that it's not the same phenomenon at all. And when I look over here at the sun, I can see the disk of the sun behind the clouds, and the camera does not see this. But moreover, it does not feel, right? Our machines are not participants in being, okay? They are objects like tools, like hammers or forks, yeah? And for a long time, there has been this myth, right? This myth that our machines are somehow intelligent or can participate in being. It is not so. It will never be so. There are thousands of reasons why I could lecture on this for hours. I will not do so. I simply want you to understand a very simple thing, that my phone does not see. It does not feel. It does not participate in reality. Yeah? And this is crucially important because if we change what it means to be intelligent so that machines can have that property, then we change what intelligence means for us. And that is a catastrophically lethal change. That is a change that is both deadly and will cause us to forget and to lose faculties that are crucial, that are fundamentally primordial. The essence of our humanity arises from these faculties, from these understandings, from this awareness that we are not objects. And objects have no heart. They have no skin in the game. And we as living beings have skin in the game. What happens matters to us. It doesn't matter because of numbers, and it's not an accounting game. That's a gloss we invented later and painted on top of things, much like the kind of waking mind, the sort of left hemispheric, some of the aspects of our left hemispheric nature, right? They post hoc. Here are some flyers, if you can see them. Yeah. This aspect of our minds, it pretends to have understood things post hoc, like after the fact. And that's why we use accounting metaphors to talk about harm and justice and punishment. And those metaphors, I have to tell you, they're wrong. You cannot punish, you cannot remove the harm of something that happened by punishing someone in the future of that happening. There is no way to remove the harm. That punishing does not fix things. And it's not an accounting game where some degree of harm can be ameliorated by imposing some other degree of harm on the perpetrator or the perpetrators, right? And someone just told me a story. I don't know the facts of this story because I heard it secondhand. But what they said was that recently, in one of the places where protests were going on, and by the way, there's a reason why I'm on my roof right now. And the reason why is that down there, right? Down there, it's illegal for me to be down there right now. It is against the law for me to go down there. Yeah? In theory, I could be shot just for being down there right now. And I don't remember another time in my life when that was true. It's conceivable that during the Rodney King riots, and I was here during those riots, that was true then. this sunset is really something. But what I have to make you understand is that the nonsensically modest image of it that my camera makes is ridiculously compared to the phenomenon I experience with my eyes, what my camera makes of that is trivial. But it is astonishing and it is beautiful. Even in the camera, you can see, right? It's going through these transformations. Yeah. Now, our culture is going through some transformations, and they are not dissimilar to sunset, because a false sun we have too long believed in the illumination of is setting forever, right now. And not just one false sun, 4 or 5 or 8 or 12. Yeah? And I hope that many of those fatally wrong-minded angles of the mimicry of illumination, I hope they will disappear. Yeah? And one of the, there are so many of these things, right? That money is value, that crime and punishment are an accounting game, that to exist meaningfully we must earn money and pay for the right to continue to exist, and to rent our shelters, to buy shelters, to own land. All of these, there are so many fictions on which our modern cultures take not only for granted, we take them as gospel, that people are that some people are entitled to better treatment based on their social class, or the color of their skin, or the origin of their ethnicity, or their education, or the amount of money they've acquired. That nature is a disposable commodity that we should turn into products, hide the damage as long as we can, get in and out, make the money, go on to the next rape scene. This kind of shit, this kind of garbage. That women are somehow lesser beings than men, which is an astonishing fiction, since men were first organs in women. So how the fuck do you get there in the first place? That we should stand idly by while our nation's democracy is eviscerated and little fucking wrapped up tokens of the remains are mailed out to various highly elite participants in that desecration, in a self-congratulatory parody of anything resembling intelligence, humanity, or meaning. Yeah. So I'm speaking to you tonight from the above of a world in crisis and confusion, in terror, in anger, and in disease. And I can't claim to understand it, but I can see the between of many of the shadows with which our collective vision has become infested. And that's a grace and a privilege. It's not something that accrues to me due to some peculiar merit. If anything, I was privileged in so many ways to receive gifts that would allow me to both detect and see through fictions. And those gifts have given my life meaning that I think otherwise I might never have. experienced. The future is wildly uncertain. But I believe that together we must reach for the highest ground. The low-hanging fruit of anger and hatred and accusation and atrocity, of crime that's actually crime. That sun. Wow. Of pretense. Of the pretense of merit, where merit is unmerited. Of merit associated with a costume or a status. Of merit projected yet entirely unearned. And this has become so common in our time that unfortunately we've learned to expect it, and nothing would be more tragic. Well, I'll retract that statement. It would be terribly tragic if our children saw that we were willing to allow that situation not only to emerge, but to be reproduced, or worse yet, celebrated. And yet I fear that were I a child, or especially a teenager right now, this might be my derivation. So let us avoid the lazy and too easily enticing traps of casting blame in the wrong places. Let us see together, let us learn to see together with intelligence and insight and foresight into the origins of the problems that our people and the ecologies of the world now face together. The time when it was conceivable for us to remain separate as peoples, as genders, as ages, that time is drawing rapidly to a close. Right now, we are going to be seeing and experiencing as one indivisible union. A union that is not merely worldwide, but transcends time itself. We will see with the eyes of our ancestors. We will see with the eyes of our progeny. Let us make wise use of such perspective and reach for the high terrain together, this day and all the days we may have remaining to us. This is my hope. Vision is my dream. And if you share it, then we belong to a family of origin together.